Hello friends, I am Sreerupa, an IELTS and PT coach working for Y-Axis Solutions Private Limited. In today's video, I am going to explain the importance of proofreading. Yes, proofreading has got a good role to play. So you might be writing IELTS or PT or GRE. So whichever test it might be, as you know, you have to take care of written discourses, right? And proofreading your written discourses. It can be a summary, an essay. Proofreading really helps you. So you have to manage your time very well. You cannot keep writing till the last moment. You have to keep 5 minutes aside for proofreading. When it comes to IELTS, you have to write an essay, okay? And they give you 40 minutes to write the essay. So there are steps to writing a good essay. You have to brainstorm your ideas first on your scratch paper. You need to plan well. Then you have to organize the paragraphs well, link the paragraphs to each other, and finally conclude the essay with a good conclusion, right? Now, once you're done with all this, okay, you need to proofread because proofreading will help you to correct errors like punctuation errors, spelling errors, grammatical errors. So, what are the very like common grammatical errors? Check whether the subject verb agreement is correct or not. So, subject verb agreement error is a very common grammatical error. Also, check for pronoun ambiguity. The pronoun has to refer to its antecedent. Check for parallelism. The sentences that you write should not be run-on sentences. So, punctuation marks play a very important role. Specifically, we should know where exactly we have to put a comma. There should not be overusage of comma or apostrophe, right? So, punctuation marks also, you have to be a little bit careful regarding that. Okay, so check the sentences well. We cannot write an incomplete sentence or a run on sentence. Very often, we tend to confuse certain words, and I can also say frequently misused words like suppose you're writing a informal letter, and for informal letters, you're allowed to write contractions. So it's versus it apostrophe s. Okay, we cannot write these interchangeably, while it's means possessive pronoun, it apostrophe s means it is. Okay, your y-o-u-r versus y-o-u apostrophe re. So y-o-u apostrophe re is a contracted version of you are, while your is a possessive pronoun. So we need to be careful about all these things. I cannot make mistakes. Okay. Similarly, there are certain words which are frequently confused. Say, for example, advise, A-D-V-I-S-E versus A-D-V-I-C-E. Okay, so check whether this kind of errors have been there, as in you have to be aware of misused words. You have to correct the grammatical errors. That's a must because if we do not correct the grammatical errors, the punctuation errors, okay, it definitely does not impress the grader. It affects the credibility of the test taker. So keep in mind, proofreading is a must. So I have few tips for you when it comes to proofreading. When you are practicing at home, okay, of course, you have to give a lot of time to your practice, right? Make it a habit to always proofread your essay well, your letter well, Okay, if you have a tutor to help you, please ask your tutor to proofread for you, or maybe it can be a colleague or another friend of yours who is also preparing for IELTS or PT or GRE. Okay, so seek help of your tutor or your acquaintances. After you're done with your written discourse, after you're done with your a letter or essay, you have written it, you can read it aloud, listen to what you have written. That also makes you aware of the mistakes that you have made. That really helps you. And it is a must to maintain a list of words which you uh, very often end up misusing, or maybe a list of frequently confused words. And this is good. It's always good to be aware of the mistakes that we make. Okay, so like this, if you practice, it's very important of the words which we end up misusing very often. Okay, that will definitely help you on the day of the examination. And most importantly, practicing with a timer running down. You might be having 40 minutes for writing the essay when it comes to your IELTS. That does not mean that you will uh, keep writing for 40 minutes. You have to keep 5 minutes aside for proofreading. So, a quick recap. What are the things which should be included in your checklist? Check whether there had been any grammatical error. As I told you, check whether there is any subject verb agreement error, pronoun ambiguity, parallelism error, because these are very common errors. Check whether it's a run on sentence. You are writing a complex sentence. There has to be a comma between the main clause and the subordinate clause. So, did I put the comma at the right place? Check. I cannot write a run on sentence. There's no hard and fast rule that I have to write a colon or a semicolon or a dash. The graders don't expect. So we can keep it very simple. Full stop at the end of the sentence, a comma if it's a complex sentence, or a comma at the end of each items if it happens to be a sentence having a list of ideas or items. So a revision of the punctuation rules when you're practicing, when you're preparing for your examination, and applying the same on the day of the examination will really help you. So be careful regarding the grammatical errors, the punctuation errors, the frequently confused words, and definitely, without fail, keep some time aside for your proofreading. Because if there are too many spelling errors or punctuation errors or grammatical errors, that is never going to impress the grader and definitely going to affect the score. So all the best for your preparation. See you soon with another video on the writing test. Thank you so much.